Alright, so I'm going to be opening and disassembling this Galaxy Tab A8, alright, or SM-X200. So these tend to be kind of a pain to open up because they use adhesive. So yeah, the charge port's broken. We're going to be replacing that. Alright, hopefully this one has some weird coloring at the bottom. Hopefully the charge port's okay, the replacement, but here's what the replacement looks like, okay? And yeah, let's go ahead and pop this open. So usually what I do is I have a very thin pry tool like this, and I have a little bottle to drip some isopropyl rubbing alcohol into it. Basically, we're going to get into the gap with the thin pry tool, and we're going to use that little gap to kind of get the isopropyl alcohol in there. So this one seems to be like very seamless, so I don't know, this is going to be tough. I don't think we can pop out from the plastic edge here. Pretty sure we have to get underneath the glass. It looks like they broke a piece of this plastic here. Okay, so I could cheat and start from there, but I'm gonna try not to, so that way you guys can kind of see how difficult it would be if it wasn't like that. Alright, so I'm gonna kind of drip some isopropyl alcohol in there, and then I'm going to use this tool to kind of guide it around. Let me actually zoom in so you can see a bit better. So they put a coating on the glass so the isopropyl alcohol doesn't really stick. Like I can put it there, you can see it's there, and then you can see it like fall. If I grab it, I can actually move this around with my tool. So you can actually just guide it into the little seam there, and the alcohol will mostly just absorb into there. So you don't want to put a crazy amount because you don't want it to absorb too far in there. If you want, you can also try using a suction cup to help pull on it a little and then try and get the tool in there, because you do need a very thin tool to get this in. Okay, so we're kind of pulling this up a little and trying to get this tool in, but it doesn't seem to want to go, so we're gonna have to kind of keep working our way around. Right, we're just gonna keep getting some isopropyl alcohol into there, and you can see it's kind of just absorbing in, so it is kind of working its way under, and we're just going to continue trying to pry. I don't know if all the times I use this to pry stuff made it a little bit less thin, but yeah, we're just going to keep trying to go for that. Alright, let's get more isopropyl alcohol in there. You can see we're just getting little droplets in, and then we're just putting it along the edge, and it kind of sucks itself into the edge of the tablet. Alright, and we're going to continue trying to pry this up. Yeah, this is being a real pain to get under here. So, I don't know, I might have to use a razor blade because this apparently doesn't seem to be thin enough. So let's go ahead and try getting a razor blade. I have this broken one. Obviously, you can use a non-broken one. And let's see if we can get in there, if this razor blade can get in the gap. Kind of. Okay, razor blades aren't designed for prying because they're very brittle, so you want to be very careful if you're going to use a razor blade. I'm using it slightly to get in there, and then I'm going to use that to very slowly push on it, and hopefully, oops, did I spill out this stuff over there? Hopefully it will pop it up just enough that I can get this tool in, but it doesn't seem like it's working. So, again, I don't want to cheat and use the gap that's already there from the plastic breaking, but it doesn't seem to want to separate. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now I got this tool in there. I can get rid of this. Oh, and it looks like a lot of the isopropyl alcohol went over there. So we're gonna slowly get this tool in. Okay, and you want to keep pressing down because you don't want this to come up. And then we're going to go ahead and try and get the isopropyl alcohol in there again. Again, following the seam. And you want to go very slow with this. You don't want to try and just pry it all out real quick, because if you go too fast, you can damage it. And I hope I'm doing this right. I might have to look into some stuff. You can see now this tool is getting in there, and if I let it go, it's kind of just prying itself up. Okay. So hopefully we don't have to pry out the plastic edge. Usually it's the glass here. And you can see now this tool kind of went in. Then we can kind of, now that we got that, we can let it go in a little bit further, but you want to be careful because the screen and other stuff are in there. Okay, let's rotate this sideways. Let's zoom out a little bit maybe. Okay, and we're gonna kind of work our way over. You can see now this tool is kind of just sliding around there. Okay, when it gets stuck, you can go ahead and add a little more isopropyl rubbing alcohol, and you kind of just tilt it to get the alcohol to go into the little grooves there, and you can see now it's easy to slide again. Okay, and basically we're gonna just work our way around the entire thing, and you want to be careful because there are cables underneath, and if you just lift it out quickly, you can damage it. So we're just going to go ahead and put alcohol and continue working our way around. If you want, you can put some little cards or something in there in between to keep it from sticking back down. But again, we're just going to continue working our way over. You can see the goopiness coming out, and I'm holding the screen up. That's why I pulled the tool out. But yeah, we're just going to continue working our way down and around. And if you can get something in there, you might want to put a little tool in there just to keep it separated. So I can get something like that just to keep it separated. And we're going to continue working our way around. Again, adding isopropyl alcohol as we go to slowly loosen up the adhesive. Okay, and you can see it's allowing me to slowly cut through. I don't need to use much force here. Okay, and yeah, you can see it just slides down easily. So yeah, you don't want to rush it, just go slow. If it gets stuck, add a little more, and then continue. You can see how easy that is. I'm not even really applying much force. I'm just guiding it down. And we'll just keep going. Huh, is there a sensor there? I think there's actually a sensor there because I can see when this tool went over, I saw a different color. So you want to be careful. There's a little sensor there. Hopefully we didn't damage that. Just continue going, and I see a dark little circle there. I don't know if it even comes up in camera. Okay, so we're going to continue working our way down. Alright. So now we're at the point where it's kind of already broken here. Let's go ahead and get another tool to stick in there. Let me zoom out a little bit more here. Okay, so now you can see we got that all lifted up. We can carefully go over to where it's broken here too. It's still actually adhered down, but there's a gap there, so it's kind of broken. All right, so we got that. We're gonna now continue working our way over to the other side. All right, let's go ahead and continue. So we got this, get that back in there. And if it's stuck, you can add the isopropyl alcohol. It helps it slide in because it dissolves the adhesive there, and basically kind of acts like a lubrication, but it's not really lubricating it. It's just making the adhesive all slimy. So we'll just continue here. Again, slowly work your way down. You don't need to rush it, and it shouldn't take much force when you're doing this. All right. Okay, you can tell like as you go, it becomes like hard to pull it. You don't want to force it. Okay. All right, you can see it's slowly going on its own. If you try and do it quick and force it, you're probably going to end up cracking the glass. So yeah, you don't want to do that. Okay. And we'll just continue going. Oh, this thing popped out. Now that it's open more, if you want, you can even stick the tool completely like in it like that. But yeah, we're just going to continue going. The adhesive is slowly peeling away. If you're lucky, you might be able to reuse the adhesive. Otherwise, you might have to put some new double stick tape there. So keep that in mind. Okay. I kind of hate how they designed them to be like this now. Okay. Continue going down. All right, give me a second. I need to check some messages real quick. Okay. Oops. All right, so let's continue. Sorry about that. All right. So you almost got half of it done. Just gotta be very patient. Okay, you can feel the adhesive peeling up. You can see that white goopy stuff on the thing. That's the adhesive. When it dissolves, it turns into a white goop. Okay. All right, we're rounding this corner now. Go ahead and rotate this. And maybe get another tool. I'm gonna start using some popsicle sticks here. But let's go ahead and get that. Get some more in there and work your way down. You can see it's actually going pretty quick. Right, get a popsicle stick in there. And we'll just continue. Also, I tilt the tool up slightly so that it can let the isopropyl alcohol go down into there. Okay. And if you're wondering, this tool is actually a special pharmacy tool for scooping pills. I actually bought it on eBay not knowing, because I was using one that I used for cake frosting type stuff before. That one I had worked really well, but it was too big. And then I messaged the person that was selling the cake frosting thing that was similar, and they said they're like, oh, I think I have exactly what you need, and they had this, and it worked perfectly. So yeah, now I use this tool a lot. I don't know why computer repair places don't have like a tool like this, or why they didn't design something like this for computer repairs, because this actually works really well. Okay, we're going to continue working our way around. Okay. Whoa, it's sliding really fast. I didn't even put rubbing alcohol there, so I don't know what's going on. Hopefully it's okay. We'll get that in there, and we'll continue working our way down. Okay, and then we gotta be careful because the camera's right here. Okay, so we'll go there. I'm gonna kind of pull up, and I'm gonna try and skip around the camera because I don't want the gooiness from that to get into the camera. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put another tool in here just to hold it up and see if I can skip over to this side. All right. So we're going to go over here, and there we go. Okay, you can see the prying it up. Now it's no longer even holding this piece up. And let's continue going around. We're almost there. Okay. Okay, oops. And it's, I think, just about cut all the way through. Yep, okay. So now that we got all the adhesive out, let's go ahead and rotate this, and let's see, we gotta lift the display away. Okay. So we're gonna carefully pull it. You can actually see the adhesive separating from the screen and the body here. So we're going to carefully pull that, and you want to be careful again because there are cables under there. I don't know if you can see those. All right, but we're slowly pulling away, and most likely we're going to have to redo all this adhesive because it looks like it gooped out. All right, so there's lots of isopropyl alcohol in here. We're going to dry the table. The good thing about isopropyl alcohol is it dries quick and doesn't really leave any residue behind. So we don't really have to worry about it. Okay, so this side has the camera and the sensors. We're gonna lift up from the other side here. Okay, oh, it's so gooey. Hopefully once it dries, it'll be okay. So we're gonna carefully lift up from this side, slowly, slowly. Okay. and you can see we have access to the screen and the battery and everything over here. Oh, there's so much of that ooey gooey gunk coming out. See that? It's stuck to the back of the screen. I'll have to clean it up. Yeah, I don't want that goop in there, so let's take that out. It's gonna solidify and then make everything a sticky mess in there, so we don't want to leave that in there. Okay, so the screen and stuff, oh, all the adhesive is coming out. Let's go ahead and peel this and peel this. Okay, I'm gonna have to be careful. I'm gonna close it. Okay, because there's all this goop I need to clean off my hands. Okay, can we open it the other way? Actually, we can open it both ways, but you want to be careful because the cable is a little bit short. So I'm going to rotate it up, and then we want to find where the battery's connected. And it looks like the battery's connected where the screen is. So we're going to have to disconnect this part. I can't see because it's because the camera's recording and I can't put my head over it. But most likely that's a JIS0 screwdriver. So I'm going to switch over to a JIS0 or J0 screwdriver bit. And let's go ahead and remove that screw here. Yep. Okay, so we got that screw out. And then we can remove this metal plate. And it kind of just, oh, it slides in. I don't know if I can show this. Let's see here. Okay, so this thing's getting in the way. Okay, so this cable is in the way, but it slides into that slot there. So you can kind of slide this out, and we'll take that out. Okay, now we gotta disconnect the battery. This cable here, the small one. So I get my fingernail under, you can use a pry tool, and you just pop it straight up. And there you go, the battery is disconnected. Now that the battery's disconnected, we're gonna flip it over, and we're gonna press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds to drain any residual power to make it a lot safer to work on, all right? So we'll hold it for a few more seconds. Just want to make sure that we're not going to damage the screen pulling it out. Okay, and there we go. All right, let's go ahead now and open this thing back up. And now we can actually, if you want, disconnect the thing. Oh, and also, let me zoom out here to show you how I'm holding the thing. So in order to have more room to work with on this, I put the screen over this way and then lifted it up. And as you can see, got quite a bit more slack. Now we can go ahead and go under here and flip that one out. And there we go. The screen is completely removed, disconnected. We do want to remove the adhesive stuff, gunk here. And then we're going to have to put some kind of new adhesive in there. You don't need anywhere near this much adhesive. If you want, you can put adhesive all through the entire thing, but it's not really necessary, especially if you have like a case that kind of wraps around and holds the screen in place. But yeah, all right, so let's go ahead and continue peeling all this adhesive off because we don't want to leave this gunk in there. You can probably leave, if you want, you can actually reuse it if it's like laying completely flat. But I might want to put some brand new adhesive here. I don't know, it doesn't want to come out, so I might end up just reusing it. This part that's like lifting up, we're going to go ahead and peel that out. Okay. Just like that. Let's peel more of this because it's going out into the lens. Okay, and here you can see the camera lens, and they have another lens there. And then, like I said before, there's another one on this side here. Okay. Let's go ahead and peel this up as well. Okay. Alright, so the adhesive is getting all sticky again. So, should be okay to reuse most of that. Let's go ahead and peel that. And yeah, that's probably good enough that it'll actually even hold itself to where we don't even need to put new adhesive. So let's go ahead and get that adhesive out of the way. Okay, my hands are all sticky, so I'm gonna go wash them real quick and I'll be back. We're gonna be removing just this part down here so that we can remove the charge port, and then we should be good to go. All right, so yeah, give me a second and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Let's go ahead and remove all this stuff now. Okay, so we'll set this aside. Okay, and let's go ahead and remove all the screws and stuff to get the bottom cover off. So I'll zoom in so you can see a little bit better. I don't have that much desk space, but I think that should be good. Okay, so let's go ahead and start removing all these screws. You want to keep them in order because they can be different size, shape, and length, excuse me. So I put them flat side down on my desk. In the pattern I remove them, like that, flat side down, okay? And then that way they stay in place, and then I can put them back exactly where I found them. They do look to be about the same size, but I don't like using that kind of method to just throw all the screws in one bucket, because if one screw happens to be a different size and then you mess up and throw it all in and then you go back to put them back, then you're going to screw yourself over and destroy your computer or device or whatever you're working on. So it's always a good idea to put the screws in order, keep them in order that you're removing them, and that way you don't have to worry about anything like that. Okay. Alright, so we're going to just continue removing all these screws. There are quite a lot of screws here, so yeah. Alright. I hope you're looking forward to that, I guess. I don't know. Alright. So continue getting all these screws out. Again, you do want to use a good screwdriver. This is a J1 or JS1 screwdriver. You don't want to use the wrong size and then end up damaging your device. So sometimes people want to cheap out and use like whatever they have on hand. You don't want to do that. Buy an actual set that you can use for all throughout your life if you ever need to open anything. If you're going to open this device, I mean, why not get a whole screwdriver set, because you're probably going to open something in the future, and then just have that ready on hand. Alright, if you need a link for some good screwdrivers, just let me know and I can post that for you in the comments. Alright. There we go. I think that's all the screws we need to remove. We removed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 screws, I think. Yep. Okay, let me see if there's any more I need to remove. I think those 15 are the only ones, because we just need to remove this plastic plate here. So I'm going to get under here with my fingernail, and I'm just going to pull on this. It does seem to be stuck, so let's see. We'll pull on that. And maybe pull harder. No. Pull over here. No. Is there something else we need to pull out? Am I missing something? I mean, there's this thing for the headphone jack, but I'm not going to be removing that, so I shouldn't need to. Hopefully they're not hiding any screws underneath any of this stuff. Sometimes they like to do that. Let's try and pull from the middle here. It doesn't want to come out. Okay, let's try pulling harder. No. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I just pulled more and then pried from here a little, and it popped out. And there we go. This is actually the speaker setup. I don't know if there's anything else in here, but definitely there's the speakers in there. You can see there's 4 pins here that it connects to. When you push this down, it connects to those little spring-loaded sockets there. We're not doing a complete repair here. We're just replacing the charge port. So if you're looking for a video on how to do that, I don't have one. I don't mess around with my customers' devices like that. If it's working, it's working. I'm not going to be pulling stuff out. You can see the SD or SIM card slot. I don't know if it's both SD card and SIM card slot. But I guess that I can actually pop out and look at the tray. So let's go ahead and pop that out and see what that looks like. So okay, I think this is just for an SD card. It doesn't look like a SIM card slot. I think this is an micro SD card slot. So yeah, I don't know why they had all this excess plastic at the end, but that's what they did. All right, maybe on some models I think they have room for a micro SIM or something there. But yeah, okay, you can see the components there, headphone jack there. It looks like there's 1 screw for that. We're going to be removing this. It might have adhesive behind it that's holding it, so it might be difficult to remove. And then you got this connector connecting that, or all of these connectors to here, so I guess that's kind of nice. It's replaceable if you accidentally damage it. but I'm not sure why they combined it into 2 connectors. Maybe it's cheaper. Okay, then of course you have the whole motherboard here, and then there's a bunch of other stuff under this that I'm not too sure. Oh, more speakers. Okay, so I guess this is more speakers there. And yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and pop out the thing so my customer can pick it up. We're gonna go under here, and I'm gonna pop at an angle like that. Right, I just used my fingernails, as you can see. And yeah, there's some adhesive under here, so we are gonna have to pry this up. Again, you can use similar idea. You can use this kind of tool, get underneath, and since this thing's dead, you can just pry it out if you want, but if you can't, we might have to do the same and use some isopropyl alcohol, because it does seem to be stuck pretty good there. Let's try and work our way over the side here and see. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So we'll get that tool, we'll put a little isopropyl alcohol in there, and hopefully it should slowly start to pry up. The only problem is this cable's in the way, and I don't want to just pry into that. So we're just going to slowly be pulling it up with the isopropyl alcohol in there, and it should slowly peel away. There we go. All right, and now we can go ahead and pull this back, and be careful with that cable, obviously. And it looks like the adhesive is actually peeling away. Interesting. Why did they make the adhesive? The adhesive is just a little like square thing here. It's not even like, what? Okay, so the adhesive, I think if you see this little square, there's a little square there. The adhesive was just in that little square. I don't know if I can reuse this adhesive because it probably stretched, but let's see. I'm gonna try and do that. We're gonna need some tweezers or something here, so we'll grab this and let's go ahead and just put this adhesive thing back in that square. Looks like it fits well. Okay, so I don't know, all they did was have that little square there. Interesting. So this is the old one. I'm surprised the new one actually has that red rubber piece on it, because usually they don't include that. So this is the new one. I'm gonna draw like a little X on here just so I don't accidentally pick it back up and try and use it. But yeah, all right, so we got that, and we're gonna draw a little X on it, just like how they have in here. I don't know why there's an X in there. All right, so there's the old broken charge port. We're gonna get the new one in, so it goes in at an angle. Wait, I hope I didn't flip it over, right? Yeah, it goes that way, okay. So it goes in like this, make sure that connector is out of the way, line everything up, push it down, okay, pull it tight, and then lower this. And then all these little raised mounts should help it align properly, so you shouldn't have to worry too much about alignment. Then get this, make sure that's lined up, and then click that in. I don't know if you heard that click, but it did click in, and we should be good. We just got to now reassemble it, test it, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So the hardest part is getting all that adhesive out. All right, so now we got this piece back. We're gonna line this back up. You want to get this back in place with these little foamy things sticking up through the holes, and then we're gonna lower this down. Okay, and is that in right? Okay, it looks like that's in right, so we're gonna now have to click that down. There we go, and we should be good. Get all the screws in, and that's pretty much it. So before you go plugging the battery back in, make sure you plug the screen in first, and then you can go ahead and plug in the battery. Okay, if you plug in the battery first and then plug in the screen, you could possibly fry the screen. You could fry the cable, the connector here. You can fry the motherboard, so yeah, you don't want to do that. All right, usually with these kinds of devices it's not as risky, but still you don't want to mess around and take that chance. Okay, so we'll get all these back in, and hopefully this tablet's working. Sometimes when the charger goes bad and it's constantly charging, not charging, charging, not charging, and it keeps like cycling like that, it can actually burn stuff as well. because basically that means the resistance is too high and the power is kind of trying to flow through or jump a gap, and then it can cause a lot more heat and damage. So you want to be very careful with that. Okay. Some people don't know, they'll continue using it and then they end up damaging it completely. Hopefully that didn't happen to this device. Okay. We'll get all these screws back in. Okay, that one in. This one in. This one in. And then we'll clean up the adhesive around the edges. But for the most part, we should be okay reusing the adhesive. So, all right, let's go ahead and rotate this back over. Let's zoom out. Okay, so now we can see this. Let's go ahead and get the screen. Okay, so the screen went this way. Make sure you don't put it upside down. You can see the cameras and the sensor like holes and stuff. So to get this back in, it might be easier to do it like this. But the problem is, I'm trying to show you guys, so I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Let me see, I can put this box here maybe. And that might work. Okay, so you just gotta line this up. Can be a little tricky. Okay, line that up, make sure it's good, you'll know, and then click it down. You can tell because it doesn't really wiggle around, right? Then we'll click down the battery connector as well. All right, and we're gonna be careful here because we do want to test it first before we close it. So I'm gonna get a popsicle stick, put it on that corner, and a popsicle stick and put it on this corner, and that way we have it resting completely on the popsicle sticks there. Let's go ahead now and plug in a USB-C cable. Hopefully this thing's not picky. I'm gonna plug in a MacBook charger cable because that's what I have at my desk since I work on so many MacBooks. We'll plug this in and let's see, is it gonna start charging or is it completely dead? And I see a charging light, so we should be good. Now what we got to do is just put back this little metal bracket and the screw, and we should be good to go. I'm not sure why it's showing some weird brighter light coming through here. Oh no, I think some isopropyl alcohol got in there. Hopefully it'll dry up and it'll be okay, but right now there's some alcohol in there. Usually alcohol will will evaporate and it should be fine, but hopefully it didn't pull any of the adhesive under there. Okay, so anyways, let's go ahead now and get that little bracket back in. That's why I was a little worried it was kind of drinking a lot of that adhesive or a lot of the alcohol. All right, so we're gonna pull this over slightly to the side here and then lift that up. Then we're gonna go ahead and get this little bracket here and slide that in and drop that down. Okay, line that up and then get the last screw. And I'm gonna see if I can slightly heat it or just leave it in the sun a little bit, and hopefully that discoloring will go away. All right, let's get this screw in. Perfect. All right, because otherwise, if we have to, we're gonna have to replace this whole screen, and hopefully that's not gonna be the case. All right, we're gonna get this piece. You can see it's showing it's charging, but not really doing much else. All right, we're gonna line up one little corner down here, line up the other corner over here. Make sure when you lower it that you're keeping it flush against the edges, and then drop it into place. And we can work our way around the edges, pushing it down. Okay, and then we're gonna use some isopropyl alcohol on a paper to just wipe the edges to get the gooiness off. All right, so we got a piece of paper here, and pour isopropyl alcohol in there, and let's just wipe the edges to get any gunk off there. All right, just like this. Clean that up. All right, and then that's pretty much it. So yeah, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade or repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. other than that, that's pretty much it. Yeah, watch a few of my other videos, like, comment, and I'll see you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.